This man always puts a quill in the door handle before he leaves home, but this day he was surprised to find the quill broken on the floor. John realized that someone had tampered with his room. Now he didn't dare to do anything even at home. Even if the Grim Reaper went crazy and asked for an apple, he wouldn't respond. On the other hand, Tom was watching him 24 hours a day. John's father, who was the police chief, was also accompanying him. He couldn't believe that his son, who was a good student, was a serial killer with special powers. Although John had realized Tom's plan and tried to maintain his good student persona, but he's still in danger. Once no more criminals die accidentally during the stakeout, it'll become clearer that he's the killer. At that moment, Tom's men received word of another strange death. The commissioner was delighted, but Tom said the killer could manipulate the time of death at will. This didn't clear John's name unless there was a recent report of a sudden death. It turns out that weeks earlier, the meticulous John had a timeline of deaths in his notes, just in case something like this happened. Now 5 days into the stakeout, the police still hadn't found anything unusual. Suddenly, an announcement was broadcast on the news. A new criminal had appeared. Tom began to stare intently at the monitor, but John was eating potato chips and doing his homework, and he didn't show any sign of trouble. But the next moment, an emergency announcement came on the TV that the criminal had died suddenly in the interrogation room. John's suspicions were cleared. Even if Tom hadn't wanted to, he'd have had to pull the plug on all the surveillance. But John had already torn the paper from the death note and put it in his potato chip bag. He had quietly written down the names of some of the people in his bag of chips. The Grim Reaper was impressed by John's actions. John thought that after this incident, no one would bother him to continue to fight for justice. That day, John suddenly received a call from his girlfriend for a date. He didn't expect to be kidnapped by a policewoman just as she finished talking about her location. Sensing that something was wrong with his girlfriend on the other side of the phone, John wrote something on his death note and rushed to her location. Soon John was able to enter the surveillance view.